Lance Flair signing in to my subscribers. What up? And if you're new around these parts, just stopping by to see how I do things around here, what up, what up? So we gonna get right into it. I watched the Pivot podcast with none other than Gilbert Arenas. And let me tell you, man, this episode was dope because Gilbert Arenas, he one of them funny players, like he got like a big personality. So we gonna hop right into it. Some of the things that stuck out about him to me was, he was like growing up, he had it hard growing up, like when he was living with his dad. And he was like, his dad was like kind of homeless. But he was like, the good thing about having a good parent is you don't feel what they feel. But he was like, man, I was always a happy kid. So we was living and sleeping at the park, and you know, I was excited because I could run. I could go out there and play on the swings. I could go out there and just, you know, do a lot of things. So I was happy in regards to that. And I was like, see, it's crazy because their situation didn't hold them back. That probably just was more fuel for his fire. If you got a good parent, you shielded from some of the things that they went through. Like, you probably look back and then when you get to a certain point, you be like, dang, I ain't recognizing when we was going through it, but yeah, we really had it hard growing up. When he heard certain things about Kobe, like how hard he practiced, and he'll get to the gym like 3 in the morning or 5 way before everybody get in there, and he doing his workouts and routines. So he was like, when he was playing on the team, and they wasn't that good, he was like, hearing that about Kobe, what he do to be so much better. Then when I look at my team, and these people just coming in like 5 minutes before practice, and he's like, yo, this ain't adding up. So he was like, one of them days, he came in the gym early. The trainer was asking him like, all right, so now it's time to practice again. He was like, nah, I'm good. And the trainer was like, see, that's why you were 20-something pick, whatever. He was 20, 30-something pick. And then he was just like, you know, going in, chewing in on him. But he was like, I'm the best person on this team. And he was saying things like that. They started talking about who was the best basketball player, and I think he said something like, you already know MJ won, but for number 2, he had to ride with LBJ. And he was like, he rode with LeBron James because LeBron James is doing his thing in the now. He said something like, when Kobe won the championship, LeBron was the MVP. And he said something like, this young guy, look at what he doing. So while everybody trying to compare Kobe to MJ, you got LeBron fighting you for that position right now, and he was doing like a very good job. He was like, the 2 times that you won a championship, he was the MVP. Me personally, my GOAT is Kobe because I grew up seeing Kobe, and I seen a lot of what he did, and I was there for it. So it's like a lot of people say Jordan, but they don't know when Jordan wore these shoes. They don't know, they just like saying the politically correct answer, which we all know Jordan is that guy because I won't argue with you. When it comes to those 3, I definitely won't debate with you because I can see, like, you can make your argument. But one thing that got me was if he could have LeBron and Kobe on this team, he definitely had LeBron because he feel like LeBron go get you more involved than what Kobe would. So that made me think. He started like studying Kobe, like when they played the Lakers, he'll get to the gym and he'll let Kobe work out first, but after he work out, he'll start working out. And he was like, he was just watching him, keying in on what he doing. But he was like, if you play with Kobe, you might lose, but Kobe go have 20 points or so, but y'all might lose, but LeBron ought to get people involved. But when he was saying like he watched Kobe so much, plus, like, to me, that's why Kobe my favorite too as well. Like, when you start hearing this mindset and this mentality, it made me think, like, on the level, like, the way he practiced so much and so many hours he put in, of course he gonna be better than everybody else because he just gave the game so much time. And by the time the person who just doing a regular practice, like, man, when that started adding up, came in at 3 o'clock this morning for, like, the whole season, and he stayed and did the regular practice, he just gonna be so far ahead and getting his skills. And I know like that some people just got some things you can't coach. Like you could definitely tell he really loved the game. At one point, Kobe started trying to throw him off and he would practice at like certain times or different times to try to mess him up. But he was like, one time I played a mind game with Kobe, shooting free throws. And I just was like, just started yelling numbers like 35, 36, 37. Kobe a machine, so you know Kobe probably in his mind like, yo, this dude hit 37 free throws. I'm about to go to the other end and I'm gonna hit 38. So, but he was like, man, I ain't even hit that many shots, but I just was trying to play a mind game with him. And I was just rolling like, man, when you hear like the mentality that Kobe had, you gotta be born with that certain type of fire. But they asked an interesting question for Gilbert Arenas. They was like, how do you get your sons to be good in basketball? Because you already know a lot of the kids who grew up in harsh conditions, they balling because they're in fear. They trying to get up out of that. He answered the question, he said, all right, I'm trying to get them to love the game. So once I get them loving the game, they playing from a different direction. So when you love something, you go take care of it. That's the way I took it. Plus he said he liked to have his sons like playing up. So that's gonna make them better too. So his name, a lot of people go be out there getting at him because of his name. And when he older, he gonna be playing with like a lot of better talent. So by the time he get to his age group, he definitely go have skills. So I'm gonna be checking out his sons, seeing what they got, which I know like it's tough being a superstar son because you know the bullseye on you. And another thing they started talking about that was interesting to me was they spoke about Kwame Brown. And Kwame Brown talked about him in good regards, but he was like, he got injured before the season. So by the time he came back, they was in stride and everybody was doing their thing. They won the game, but the reporter went over there and was talking to Kwame, and Kwame said something like, he wish he would have got more minutes. Gil feeling like, hey man, we won. Like, you know, that's the most important thing we could do right now, we won. So he was like, things just started getting like awkward. Kwame get in, sometime he'll miss and the crowd will start booing him. He was like, one time I stepped to like, you know, the people like, please don't boo Kwame Brown because he one of us and we need all the help. If you go boo, we need the boos for the other team. So hearing all that, and one of the people on the team told Kwame that the reason he ain't starting is because Gilbert Arenas. So maybe that's some reason that Kwame probably had like some animosity or some strong feelings towards him because he probably felt like behind closed doors, he said something to him to make things get tough for his career. Kwame had it hard, you know, playing with the GOAT, playing with Michael Jordan. He felt like he wasn't confident in his abilities and skills because, but hold on. While you right there, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit that like, that subscribe, cause we are on the road to 1,000 and you know we doing our thing over here. But let me get right back to it. He was like, Kwame Brown quit on the team. And he was like, man, we gonna need you for the big series cause we know you'll be able to play up good against Shaq. If we win this series and go play against him, we definitely need you. But he was like, he spoke with his agent, and what Kwame and his agent like sat out. So he was like, they quit on the team. And I was like, dang, that's crazy. And it just made me think about the Kwame Brown situation. It's tough, like being young in the league. You probably playing with you playing with MJ, the best player to ever play the game. And his expectations, they probably look at things in a different way where they think everybody could be good, but Michael Jordan and people like that got certain intangibles that you can't coach, you can't teach. So one thing he said he wish he could change, and that was the incident with Javaris Crittenton. He said they was friends. Javaris, he was gambling. He was getting a business, so he was mad. He said a few jokes, and Javaris said something like, I'll shoot you, or something. And he was like, I wanted him to stand on that. So some kind of crazy things started happening to him. You know the situation that happened with them. And he was like, man, I knew he wouldn't do nothing crazy to hurt me because he my friend. We do a lot of things together and we good friends. He was a young guy and he was trying to clean up his life and transition to the game, NBA. He was serious, he wanted to watch film and he wanted to become better. So that hurt him because, you know, that situation, he took away some things from Javaris that he didn't get a chance. I guess he felt like he could have been his big bro and they already, you know, they was good friends, but this little one situation messed things up where they got suspended. They categorized Gil in like a crazy light because every time people would talk about him, they would talk about him like the dude who brought guns around the stadium, the dude who did that. And he was like, man, I'm a good guy. Man, I took pay cuts for the team. I'm the guy who always did what I could to make sure we got things going on good around here. And they looking at me funny like that. He was like, man, I didn't even really want to play no more because I guess, you know, back then with the media, it ain't like the day where these guys got their own platform and they could speak. So you probably pick up that newspaper and you read that. Then you turn to ESPN, these people saying this about you, so it's getting on you bad and it's playing with your mental. But he even said something about Kobe Bryant. He was like, man, the way Kobe Bryant went through his thing in his career, his certain situation, and he still was the face of the league, and he still could come out and drop like 40 a game with that. Like, I want to know how he do that. So some kind of way he reached out to somebody that Kobe reached out to, and they was able to, you know, get some work in. That's why, like, when he was like, LeBron is the best, it just made me think, like, how is he saying LeBron the best when a lot of the things that he did, he was emulating Kobe. He want to watch him practice for he could really see what he doing. He want to know what he doing. Like, when he under this scrutiny, he want to know how is he still performing at a crazy level like that. But you already know he entitled to his own opinion. But you know, Channing Crowder, he a boy who ain't gonna play. He came out and he was like, Bronny dad so good, that's the reason why he in the league. And I was like, man, Chan never let up. And he was like, his stats that he got in college, I could have did that. But Gil, you know, he's a technical person when it comes to basketball because he played it. He was like, Bronny, he just as big as, you know, a lot of the other people in the league. He just as big and he just as quick as a Ja Morant and De'Aaron Fox. And he was saying like that, but he was like, he's young, these 2 years, this in the G League, that's gonna help him get right. Then we could really judge him and see. But one thing that was interesting too to me when he said something, when he started speaking about like a lot of the great NBA players, and they asked him something about like, you got engaged, you just got engaged or something. And he was like, see, when I look at a lot of the great NBA players, they had wives and that helped with stability at home. So he was like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. He just was naming some NBA players. I was like, dang, he got an interesting perspective on that. But you already know the saying, behind every great man is a great woman. So you already know when you got that perfect companion that can help feed you to your dream and keep you focused when you got that bad game and help you keep things in perspective. But let me know your thoughts below on this interview with Gilbert Arenas. What's some of the takes that was said in this interview that you agree or disagree with?